Hi, Leanne here from Reboot Mindset Coaching, and you are listening to the Self-Worth 101 podcast. So thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. And this podcast is, as you probably know, if you've listened to me in the past, attached to the School of Self-Worth, which is an online program that I run, that if you want to know more about, you can go to my website, which is rebootyourlife.com.au, click on the School of Self-Worth tab, and you can read all about it. So in these podcasts, sometimes I have a guest and we talk about all sorts of amazing things. And in other ones, I just share some thoughts and some ideas with you. And that's what I want to do today. I just want to have a quick conversation with you about something that one of my clients shared with me today. And she's given me permission to have this conversation with you. And I thought, I reckon there's probably a chance that you might resonate with this and think, wow, I do that. And here's the premise. So one of the things that we were talking about in our session was that one of the things that she hates is she works in a medical field, and when an older patient will call, they will often start the phone call with, "You people sent me an email about blah, 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 blah." Now, she doesn't know why, but whenever somebody says, "You people," she goes into a full-on triggered state where immediately after a bit of, I did some questions to sort of burrow down and go down the rabbit hole, but she said, "I feel like I'm 8 again. I feel like when whether it's a man or a woman, when they ring up and they say, 'You people sent me,' or 'You people," she said, instantly, I just go into this, I feel like I'm in trouble. I feel like there's somebody telling me off and I don't like it. And so I sort of asked her a few more questions about it. And it turned out that she found that statement very aggressive. She found it quite judgmental. And she hears it probably 4 or 5 times a day. And each time she does, she doesn't know why, but she just goes really, really tense and she gets angry. So when I pulled apart with her, what does it mean when someone says "you people"? And she's like, "Well, it means we're in trouble. You like we've done something wrong." And I explained to her the concept of what we do as humans. And us humans, we are meaning-making machines. It doesn't matter what it is, we will slap a meaning on it. And it's generally not the thing that sends us into crazy world in our thoughts. It's the meaning that we've put on it. To give you an example of this, I used to have the most amazing ankles. Back in the day, I had perfect ankles. And then, of course, I had babies, which I love, and I would never, ever give back, obviously. But I struggled during those pregnancies, and my ankles used to fill up with fluid, and they've never really gone back to normal. So my ankles have held me back through most of my life. Now, the meaning that I've put on my ankles is that they're grotesque and they're ugly, and I need to stay home because of them. So I never went to the beach. I didn't go to the beach to actually swim for close on 20 years. I know, how bizarre. But I didn't because I had such angst around my ankles and what it meant if they were on display that I didn't go. So my ankles literally meant that I couldn't go to the beach. When I started to learn what I do now and investigated the meaning that I put on it, I came to learn very quickly that it wasn't the ankles that was stopping me going to the beach. It was the meaning I applied. So I thought, what's a different meaning that I could give my ankles? Now, you don't want to go the opposite meaning because that feels too far away and it feels make-believe and it feels dismissive. So if I had have made my new meaning, "I love my ankles," it would have felt a bit inside of me and it wouldn't have helped. So I decided, after thinking about it for quite some time, I decided to make the new meaning, "Wow, I'd be fucked without them." So that became my new, rather than, "Oh God, look at them, they're lumpy and grotesque and yuck," my new meaning was, "Geez, I'd be fucked without them." So I went to the beach and I went swimming, and I tell you what, you never believe this, but no one died. And even more astonishingly, nobody ran away screaming. Not one person. In fact, no one gave a shit. And by the end of the day, neither did I. And it was such a great lesson for me in, Jesus, we really do ourselves a disservice at times. So getting back to my client, she picks up the phone. Someone says, you people, and she's like in fight mode. She's ready to like fight and she's pissed off and she's angry. And I said to her, so the meaning that you've applied to that through stuff that's happened in the past, we're not saying that you've just gone, oh, that meaning will do. There's a reason why you've put that meaning on, because it obviously subconsciously reminds you of something back in the past. Your meaning is I'm in trouble. What's another meaning we could put on it? And she's like, well, maybe they're just saying that because they don't know what my name is. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's actually probably what's actually happening. And that's probably the fact. But see how it doesn't really invoke a emotional response like I'm in trouble does? So we want to get a meaning that makes us feel something. Now, the meaning is not going to be, I really like having someone say you people, because the feeling there is like, whatever, I roll. So we went through, and even though I had lots of great ideas, my role as a coach is not to give you the answers, because none of us really like to be told what to do, and it doesn't really work. But my job is to ask the right questions so that you find the right answers, because then your mind goes, oh my God, I never thought of it like that. So that's what happened in this case. So I said to her, what's something that makes your mind feel excited, like really excited, like almost playful and not so much naughty, but really excited? And she said, well, you know what's really doing it for me right now is there's a restaurant down the road from me called Last Slice. And if you're from Last Slice, hashtag you're welcome for the shout out. Anyway, it's a pizza place. And she said to me, the thing that's really doing it for me right now is the buffalo chicken pizza. That's what it was called, the buffalo chicken pizza. And it's got ranch dressing on the top of it as well. And I said, cool. So when you think about buffalo chicken pizza, what do you feel? And she goes, oh, excited, hungry. And I'm like, great. So what happens if we take the I'm in trouble, oh, there's an old person telling me off meaning, and we substitute that with buffalo chicken pizza? And she kind of looked at me and she goes, what? I said, what would happen if every time an older person said to you on the phone or in person, you people, and you suddenly thought pizza? And her face broke out in this really big smile and she goes, oh, I started drooling. I said, do you think that you people how would it feel? And she goes, oh, like pizza. And I'm like, great. So does that mean that every time someone says you people, pizza, she said, I think of pizza, oh, I can taste the ranch dressing. And they make these really great cocktails as well, and I really like having them as well. And the one this month is, what did she call it? The fairy floss or something. So she got into this big conversation and she's all happy. So then I said to her, okay, let's put all that to one side right now. And I want you to go back to that original meaning that you put on that. Now we're going to role play. I'm going to be the old person, and I want you to get back that feeling of tense, I'm in trouble when I say it. She goes, okay. And I said, you people sent me, and she just smiled. And I said, what do you think? She goes, pizza. And I'm like, no, put that to one side. Don't think about pizza. Don't think about that. We're going to go back to what it was before. I want you to get back that feeling of tense. I'm 8-year-old. I'm in trouble. She goes, okay, all right, I can do it. So, tring, 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 tring. And I said, right, You people sent me, and she started to laugh. She goes, pizza. And I said, no, I want you to get back the old feeling. And she goes, I can't. I can't. And I said, yes, you can. And she goes, no, I can't. She goes, oh, pizza. And I said, she goes, oh my God, that's amazing. So my brain's just made a complete switch. And now when I think, you people, I just see pizza and it's fun. I'm like, great. So was it actually the older people saying that that gave you that response, or was it the meaning that you'd put around it? She goes, oh, 1000% the meaning. Oh my God, I love the new meaning. And I said, let's take it one step deeper then. Let's really have some fun with it, because our subconscious mind, which is the one that does those default psychological responses to things, like, you know yourself, there are certain people that you see, or smells that you have, or sounds, and when you see that or experience that, you instantly are in a triggered state. Sometimes it's a positive one, sometimes it's a negative one, but it's your subconscious that's actually doing that. And one thing that your subconscious loves is fun. And the reason it loves fun is because your subconscious is your imagination. And your imagination is a 6-year-old or thereabouts. So this is why when you tell yourself not to worry, just let it go. Just don't worry about it. Or you tell yourself something's never going to happen. It doesn't help, because you're dismissing, and your mind doesn't know what to do with that. If you were to tell a 6-year-old, don't worry about it, it's never going to happen, they didn't mean that, what's they going to do? You know, they're going to get even more riled up, which is why you do. You need to understand the language of your mind in order to be able to change it. Now, the new meanings don't even have to be related, as we've just discovered. So I said, let's make this even more fun. And I said to her, roughly, how many times a day would you have an older person say to you, either on the phone or in person, you people? She goes, anywhere between, I don't know, 3 and 10 times. And I said, great, pick a number. She goes, 4. I said, great, let's play you people bingo. So when you drive to work in the morning, you're going to pick a number. So let's just say, for example, the number you just picked, which is 4. And you know that that's your quota for the day. That's your quota. You're going for 4. It's like bingo when you got your 4. Let's say somebody rings up or comes in and goes, you people. She goes, pizza. Oh, that's 1. And I'm like, great. I said, tell me where the angst is around the aggression and the tension. And she goes, oh, no, I want another one because I want to get to 4. And I'm like, great. So then, of course, you hear another one and you go, yes, that's 2. And where's the angst? It's not there. She goes, does that mean that if I get 4, that I can actually go have pizza? And I said, well, look, you can do whatever it is that you like. You probably don't want to be eating pizza every night. Maybe you could do it as if you get the number exactly right. So you want to make it maybe higher than 5 so that it's a little bit harder, because if you make your number 2, you know you're going to get it every time. But it has to be the exact number. If you choose 4 as your number and you get it 6 times, then no, it's not bingo, because you got it 6, not 4. And she's like, oh my God, I love this game. And I said, but before you go, I just need you to get back that tense state so that we can calibrate it. So when I say, you people, I want you to make it up, even make up the tension, the aggression, that horrible feeling that you used to get. She goes, okay. I'm like, all right, you people. And she starts laughing. She goes, I can't do it. And I said, of course you can't, because what you've just done is you've substituted the meaning. And that is exactly what NLP is, neuro-linguistic programming, which is one of the things that I work in a lot, especially for people that are triggered by certain things, or they find that they can't get different patterns out of their mind or different ways of thinking out of their mind. NLP is the way to change that really, really quickly. And what neuro-linguistic programming stands for is the L, which is the linguistics, that's our thoughts. So our linguistics, which is our thoughts, program our neurology. Now, our neurology is what we do. So if you find that there's always a certain thing that you react a certain way to, it's because you've got a thought or a meaning in your head, which is programming the way that you react to it. What happens if you change the meaning? That means that you change the linguistic, which means that your entire reaction is completely different. And the great news, you can do it without that other thing needing to change. So as humans, we often need things to be different in order for us to be happy. But there's another meaning that you're applying to it. It's wrong. What you need is to be aware that every single thing that triggers you is because you are having a psychological response to it. That thing, just like the older people who are ringing up, cannot reach into your head and press the, oh, I feel targeted switch. You're doing that, and you do that through the meaning that you're applying to it. They have no access to your triggers. They're all on you. Doesn't mean that you've made them up. Triggers are a very, very real thing. And yes, there is a lot of deep therapy work that can help you uninstall them. But for the interim, what if it was as simple as changing the meaning, but not to the opposite thing, but to something that feels fun? I'd love to know how you could relate this. How could you identify what meanings you're putting on something and what's a new meaning that you could use, like my ankles, grotesque and ugly, to I'd be fucked without them. Let's go to the beach. So I just wanted to share that with you because I thought that's a really relatable little nugget of genuine experience that I thought, that might be helpful for you too. So regardless whatever is going on in your life right now that is causing you angst, I want you to understand that yes, it's very real. No, you're not to blame for it. But yes, you have applied a meaning to it. What's the meaning? What happens if you change it? Let me know. I would love to know what you come up with. So once again, please feel free to reach out to me because I love your comments and I love your emails. And you can find more information about me, what I do, and also about the School of Self-Worth by going to my website, which is rebootyourlife.com.au. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I'd love for you to hit share if you think that there's someone else in your life that is a meaning-making machine that might find this valuable.